Good evening, Sherman School. Thank you so much for being such patient students and parents waiting for us. We were in a little meeting beforehand, and we were in executive meeting, but before I explain, I'd like someone to make a motion to go back into open.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Gerton, second, Cancino. And we were in this executive session for a reason of student matters. It was number one, student matters, but rest assured, no action was taken. So now we're here for our meeting, and I guess you guys are here for some recognition or something, right? All right, excellent, excellent. Doesn't surprise me, so we're really excited to see you guys and recognize you guys, and we're going to start off first with what's called public participation. And what that is anyone can come up and state their name and address for agenda items only. This paper here we have in our hands is called an agenda. It has a lot of things that are numbered, the things to do, and different things going on, like Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Roseville Park football game, and Mr. Signorelli will tell you about a little bit later. And, but anyway, anyone can come up, and for 3 minutes you can comment on any agenda item that you would like. You have 3 minutes, so please state your name and address.
Members of the board, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Item number 2, policy orientation and training of board members.
What that is, Mr. Major, thank you for coming tonight, is depending on when the board members got on the board, got elected to the board, they have to go through some training. Just like teachers have to go through training, so we can teach you students. And there's this governance 1, governance 2, governance 3, governance 4. Now, our new members that are coming on board, and congratulations to Mr. Lyndale and Mr. Hemingway, they will be taking governance 1, which is like just an introductory course to board orientation. But then as you go along the years, like in January, because I got reelected, I'm going to take governance 4, which is more of a review of ethics, finance, personnel, all the things that we're exposed to that we work on the board. And so that's basically what the orientation and training is. Maybe 10, but there was no tenure on the Board of Education. I have to earn my stripes every 3 years.
And also, please explain number 2, settlement agreement with and numbers to the court.
Exactly what the wording in the resolution is. It's an agreement between the Board of Education and the County Board of Education, which had to do with the dispute over financial responsibility for education for one of our students, for one of the students. So it's an agreement between the two.
How much is it?
I don't have those figures with me right now. But you can go or come to the office like you did last week, and you can certainly share
That
that.
was provided by Mrs. Garcia.
Show me back you again, and I'm sure we don't have that information for you.
Thank you.
My name is Marissa Falcon. I live on 631 Woodland Avenue in Hazel Park. And this is not on the agenda. However, maybe you can advise me as to the protocol going forward. I have a question and a concern as a parent regarding departmentalization in the 4th and 5th grade here at Sherman, in particular, because this is where my students go. And I'd like to know, it was something that the school used to implement and no longer is. And as a parent of a student who has now moved on from 5th grade, going forward, yes.
And Ms. Falcon, I'm sorry, for this participation is just for agenda item, but if you'd like to wait.
Right.
just a moment
What is the
after-
protocol?
No, there's another public participation portion after we recognize the students and
Oh,
you can
excellent.
bring this up at angle. Discuss it.
Excellent.
All right.
So you're gonna-
Yeah, please.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm going to provide the Thank you for those remarks, President Miller. I look forward to completing my mandatory training next year. I have a question about agenda item 9E. 9E, yes, the new P&G teacher. Could you talk a little bit about her qualifications and her experience in teaching Indian talent?
Actually, Mr. Longhead, thank you for the question. We have a retirement. That happened actually, it's going to happen as of December 30th, so January 2. As you know, the classes have been going on for 4 months. So we did open up the decision for anyone to send resumes and anyone interested. We did have several candidates apply. Most all of the candidates are teachers in the district, or most of the candidates are teachers in the district with responsibility to a home or to a class. The teacher is coming back from maternity replacement, so what we are doing, with the exception, again, what we're doing is finishing out the year with this teacher. This teacher is a highly qualified teacher, obviously, and certified to teach any grade levels from K through 5. So that's a certification. We are not out of compliance in terms of certification. You do not, for the T&D position, need to have any additional certification qualifications other than a teaching degree. But what we're going to do is open up the position for permanent position in September, so we're going to interview in the spring. And what we decided to do, instead of disrupt a school year, classroom, we're going to finish out the year with someone who's coming back, not interrupt the class that she was going to come back and open it up in the spring for September. We felt that that would be in the best interest of the students.
Thanks, Doug. I was going to ask follow-up questions. You answered all my questions in advance.
No problem.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Mr. Greer?
Yes.
We reviewed that as a committee, right? So,
Yes, we did.
and that's not inconsistent with what we've done.
No. Yeah, the last thing that we want to do, Mr. Gurr, thank you for bringing that up. The last thing we want to do is we want to interrupt the continuity of instruction in the classroom. So we feel that whenever there's an opening halfway through the year, the best thing to do is continue with what the teaching that we have and open it up for September. Thank you.
Seeing there is no one else, we'll close the first public participation portion of the meeting tonight and move to committee reports. Is anyone on committee report that would like to speak? Mr. Singaroa.
Hello. So, Mr. Miller's talking about tomorrow night, and then Thursday, we have a 100th anniversary Roselle Park football game. So tomorrow night is going to be, weather holds up, to be a bonfire at 6:30 at the high school field. So some of you folks know that children know also the fire chief was a part. And it was a tradition for many years, and we brought it back last year, and there was a couple thousand people there last year. It was really awesome. And I grew up in town. I was born here, and I've been here 55 years now. I'm going to go around. So come out tomorrow night to the high school and see see this bonfire, have a good time, all right? 7 o'clock.
Can you roast marshmallows?
Yes, I'm a fire pit. So, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Cigarella. Anyone else? See, there was no one else. We'll go on to the best part of the meeting tonight, which is the principal's report and then the student recognition. Mrs. Brown, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Garrido, Mr. Miller, members of the Board of Education, and welcome students, parents, and community members to tonight's meeting, where we will recognize the outstanding achievement of the students you see here in front of us, our 4th and 5th grade and our 4th and 5th grade this year. Before we do that, I'd like to give you a short update on the great things happening always at Sherman School. As of today, our student enrollment is 383 students. The more the merrier is what I say. Students have just completed the first marking period. It was wonderful to see so many of you participating in conferences and discussing your children's progress, talking with the teachers. Your support, of course, equals your students' success, so thank you for coming. Throughout October and November, our students were talking about and learning the true meaning of respect through class lessons with their teachers, visits from the guidance counselor, morning reminders through announcements. All of Sherman School stressed the golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. More important was that students understood what respect looks like, right everyone? Not just using the words, but looking for examples and what does it look like to be respectful. And you can see them displaying that right now here tonight. Tomorrow, we will reveal our new trait over the loudspeaker, and we'll continue it all for all of December, but I can't give it away yet. We most recently elected our student council. 9 5th graders were voted in by their peers after listening to 29 students who prepared speeches to present. As our future leaders, I can talk about it. As our future leaders, they will be role models and the voices of Sherman, sharing ideas to make it an even better place. If you're on the student council, can you stand up? Some of them are here. All right. Thank you. Okay. The PTA sponsored 2 walking events. We're trying to get healthy. National Walk to School, which gave us a healthy start to our day on October 4th. Many students and parents participated in that, coming from Acker Park, a lot of fun. And then the Sherman Walkathon, which is one of our fundraisers that the PTA runs, and we so far have reached the fundraising goal of $2,500. Thank you also to the Roseville Park Police Department for the annual Officer Fill program, which promotes safety and anti-bullying strategies through a really funny ventriloquism and magic show. Remember that guy, right, with the puppets? We love the puppets. The kids really, really enjoy it. Also, thank you to the fire department for the fire truck visits to our little ones to teach fire safety for our preschool to 2nd grade students, and they get to see the fire truck and hear it and all that. Today, as you know, is known as Giving Tuesday, and our 2nd graders had their Harvest Fest today. That's what it's called. And they prepared items that they either made, bought, baked, to trade with students that brought a donation. So the other students in the school brought a donation for either a pet shelter or for people to help the needy, and then they could go to the class and choose an item that one of the students either made. So that was nice to teach them about giving back and helping others. Teachers are working in the classroom with the new next generation science standards, and students are really enjoying the hands-on activities they've planned through a mystery science program emphasizing STEM education. To align with that, next week, guys, you don't know, but I'll tell you now, we have John Marshall's weather tour visiting the school for 2 assemblies. Each grade is currently collecting a certain type of weather data, so we're going to see how we can work with that, and he's going to be here to talk with us. Keep an eye out for the December calendar, which will be packed with activities to make the season a fun one. All right, now for the most important reason we are here. It's with great pride that I honor the students here tonight for their outstanding achievement on the PARC English Language Arts and Math assessments. as well as the NJS Science from 2017. Students who scored in the level 5 exceeded expectations range of PARC are being awarded, and also those who received either advanced proficient or a perfect score on the NJS are also being awarded. So we're very proud of all of your hard work. So congratulations to all of you as you receive the awards. When I read your name, please come up, accept your award, and you can stand up here, okay, until all the students are announced for this certain award. The following students are recognized for exceeding expectations on the PARC English Language Arts Literacy 2017. Sadie Lavach. Casey Cabrera. Arya Chabra. Shurya Chabra. Cassandra Cordero. Christopher Cunningham. Catherine Fisher. Jacqueline George. Cameron Ilias. Layla Ilias. Isabel Latour. Felix Lange. Aaron Shapira. Jocelyn Swiberius. Audrey Miller. Noah Orlando. And Sophia Ortiz. And give them a big round of applause.
That's just for the youth center. I think that's probably just for practices.
That's when the softball thing is Friday nights, 6 to 8:30.
Softball comes before. I think that's just for this facility. I think we'll be able to practice it out there, possibly, sure, but I'm not sure. I'll find out more tomorrow. You want to sit next to them? He hasn't called me yet tonight. It's still early.
Where are you in?
Although she couldn't be here tonight, we do want to announce for a perfect score on the Park English Language Arts Literacy in 2017 was Ying Chow. The following students are recognized for exceeding expectations on the Park Mathematics 2017. Aiden Ponzio. Gianna Q. Fabian Ruiz. Arya Chopra. Ying Chow. And Layla Ilyas. Congratulations to those students. Okay, our next award recognizing students who received advanced proficient scores on the NJS Science 2017. Ishel Alejo. Lucas Braga. Casey Cabrera. Sharia Chabra. Christopher Cunningham. Dahlia Elson Carey. Michael Ferguson. Catherine Fisher. Andres Franco. Jacqueline George. Kaylee Ann Green. Cameron Harms. Maybe we can do the rest, the other half on this side of it, and then we can do the picture. Cameron Ilyas. Layla Ilyas. Sarah Ilyas. Emily LaRosa. Absent, I'll take that one. Absent Jeffrey Lynn. Hunter Navy. Jacob Balave. Natalia Morales Argueta. Megan Nickel. Noah Orlando. Sophia Ortiz. Nathan Flores. Yasmin Santos. Marlene Serrano. Andrew Shapiro. And Angie Valencia.
What? This is I'm being recorded. I realize that. Is it?
For a perfect score on the NJS Science. Perfect score of 300. Arya Chabra. Ying Chow. Cassandra Cordero. Isabel Latour. Felix Langdane, Audrey Miller, Grace Mondero, Melissa O'Connell, Alexis Rodman, Dominic Strizikowski, Congratulations for the about my attire this evening. As maybe you have been wondering, a younger sibling of one of our 5th graders, Christopher Cunningham, who is here receiving some awards tonight, is fighting his battle with cancer. Our Sherman family wore these t-shirts today to show our support of little Mateo and his whole family who are going through this together. So please at Thanksgiving, if you'll please keep them in your thoughts as we all count our blessings. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Brown, thank you so much.
As chair of the Board of Committee, congratulations to all the students, but especially congratulations to the parents and the guardians and the grandparents. So I applaud you for all your great efforts.
Thank you, Mr. Seiko, and boys and girls, we're very, very proud of you, and you did a great job tonight. It's moved me to make just a 40-minute speech, and you guys can get out I'm just kidding. But boys and girls, we are going to take a quick 2-minute recess, and you guys can get out of here and go home and relax with mom and dad and do a little homework or just read, take it easy. So we're going to take a 2-minute break. Boys and girls, congratulations once again.
too. Congrats. How you doing?
Hello, lady. How are you? Congratulations.
Good evening, Mr. Miller. We are very proud superintendent. First of all, congratulations to our students in German. Parent-teacher conferences took place last week, and I think Mrs. Trump said it perfectly. No support equals student success. So certainly the partnership that we have between the parents and our teachers and administrators definitely equal to student success. So we want to see more of that. I understand from all the principals report that the conferences went extremely well, and they were very productive. I attended actually last night a high school PTA meeting. It was a wonderful, well-attended meeting, and we spoke about future plans for the district and division that we have. And membership was wonderful. They're very actively involved, and we want to see that. Again, the parent involvement is very important for student success. On my next PTA meeting will be at Robert Gordon, November 29th, which is next Wednesday, and I'll be here at Sherman on December 4th during their PTA meeting. As Mr. Signorella said, this Wednesday night, the bonfire, which is a wonderful community event. I couldn't believe the number of community members that were at the bonfire last year. It was such a great event. Please come out at 7 o'clock tomorrow night for that event. And of course, the big 100th anniversary Thanksgiving Day game is this Thursday at 10:30 a.m. That's a wonderful rivalry. The more I read about it, 100 years is a long time. And both Roselle Park and Roselle have been having this wonderful community event every year for the last 100 years. So please come out, support the football team. They went very far this year to the semifinals of the Group 1 state championship, and they have a lot to be proud of. And again, this past week or two, all of our school buildings have been very busy collecting food and doing all kinds of events to give thanks to the veterans for Veterans Day. So it's been a wonderful month of activities around all our school buildings. So with that, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. We really have a lot to be thankful of here in Roselle Park in our district. Our education continues to thrive, and look forward to more to come during the next year and in the future of Roselle Park. We have wonderful programs, wonderful staff, and the board is very supportive. So thank you all for your support of the district. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Garrido, for your superintendent's report. And now we'll move on with the agenda to the section of policy, where I'd like someone to make a motion to approve agenda items 1 through 5. One being district policy, second reading, 9 to 1:30, and we're going to actually table the second one that Mr. Majera was talking about earlier, due to we have to add some additional language to that policy, and that will be on the next agenda for the second reading. So we'll table the second one, and then we'll go to the district policy. The 3 district policy second reading, 4 and 5 are also second readings as well. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Signorella, second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Cancino. Are there any questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. President, you're going to table number 2. I want to make sure I'm verifying what I think I heard. Table in number 2 because we have to add additional language in there, but then we're going to come back with a second reading?
Mr. Harms, could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I think Mr. Gurdon's question is that I don't think if you add language to it, it can't be a second reading, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then that would be a first reading.
Correct.
Okay, so noted. Thank you, Mr. Gurdon. Any other questions or comments? Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Vice President Harms?
Yes.
Mr. Bowman?
Yes.
Mr. Cancino?
Yes.
Mr. Gurdon?
Yes.
Ms. Powers? Mr. Sekou?
Yes.
Mr. Signorella?
Yes.
Mr. Vida, President Miller.
Yes.
Roll call, motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. And now we're on to personnel, where I'd like someone to make a motion to approve agenda items 6 through 11. 6 being district substitutes, 7 being staff appointment, 8 being additional sections, 9 being change of assignment, 10 being additional lunch supervisor personnel, 11 being parent workshop presenters. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Signorella, second.
I'll make it.
Mr. Gurdon. Any questions or comments? Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Vice President Harms,
Yes.
Mr. Bowman,
Yes.
Mr. Cancino,
Yes.
Mr. Gurdon,
Yes.
Ms. Powers, Mr. Sekou,
Yes.
Mr. Signorella,
Yes.
Mr. Vida, President Miller.
Yes.
Roll call, motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. And now we're on to education, where I'd like someone to make a motion to approve agenda items 12 through 14, 12 being the education program, 13 being educational trip requests, and 14 being harassment, intimidation, bullying incidents. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Mrs. Signorella, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Sekou. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Those items are passed. And now we're on to business. I'd like someone to make a motion to approve agenda items 15 through 20. 15 being approval of bills, 16 being Secretary Treasurer report, 17 being approval of minutes, 18 being memorandum of agreement, 19 being settlement agreement, and 20 being use of buildings and grounds. Do I have a motion? Or, I'm sorry, yeah, do I have a motion?
One comment, I'm just going to abstain from 28.
28, so noted, Mr. Signorella.
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Harms, thank you. Second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Cancino.
Now, I also abstain from 17.
17, so noted, Mr. Harms.
President Miller, I have to abstain from 17 as well.
So noted, Mr. Bowman, thank you.
So I have a question.
Mr. Gurdon?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to word it. So, number 16, and I guess this is directed to our business administrator, Mr. Gershio. So number 16 is our Secretary and Treasurer's report. It's been bugging me, not the reports that have been bugging me, the question has been bugging me at me for a couple of months now. So this is a good opportunity, I guess, to question it. So we get an itemization of funds 10 through 80, I believe, at which the treasurer report and the secretary's report is signing off on. My understanding is that there's also a fund that's utilized at the high school and potentially some other ones. What is the accounting for that? Is it like the student affairs accounts? And though my understanding is it's managed by the principal, it comes under the purview of the board. And what is the avenue that the board has any insight into those funds?
I believe you're speaking about student activity funds, which are located in each one of our buildings,
Yes.
including the high school. Those funds are audited by our outside auditor. I'm sure that if the board requested more detailed information about them at a particular point in time, we could make those arrangements, but it's not required by law to be part of the Secretary Treasurer's report.
Oh, understood. And it's not required to be disclosed as part of our annual audit report either, right?
It is included, there's information in there that addresses that issue.
So whereabouts?
In the CAFR report?
I'm sorry?
In the CAFR report, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
When I get to my office tomorrow, I'll look through, I don't know the page off the top of
No,
my
and I wouldn't expect you.
Okay.
So what I guess I was trying to understand is, you read in the paper about mismanagement and of funds all the time, right? And as we sit here on the board, we have a fiduciary responsibility to understand where all funds are being accounted for within the district, and we do a great job with funds from 10 through 80 or 90, whatever it is. It's just those are outside of our normal reporting that we see, to understand what's the balances in there and understand who's approving it and and what are the funds being used for. And my limited recollection from a couple of years ago, some of those funds were significant. And the board may want to consider, keeping an eye, or asking the question as I am here, in the future.
Perhaps it's something that the financial committee would like to discuss, and we could, with their suggestion, possibly come up with some intermediate reporting process. It could be a local board policy.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the recommendation is of the committee, I'm fine with. Just, in my 7, 8 years here on the board, I don't know that a board has looked at that, or maybe it didn't.
Keep in mind, they do vary in size. Of course, the student activity funds at an elementary school are very small in comparison to a high school.
Understood.
So we could, again, contact the high school bookkeeper who oversees that particular activity fund to get the board some intermediate reports.
And it's my colleagues as we sit here on the board, right? Not a day goes by that you don't read it, or a week goes by rather, you don't read something in the paper about mismanagement, whether it's a PTA, another charitable, group, whatever the case may be.
And that's exactly why New Jersey statute has certain requirements, and those policies are something that a school district must follow, and certain documentation must be provided, and that's exactly what the auditor checks when they come in each year. I receive a huge box from the high school with all the reports, and they look through that information to ensure that we're following the laws and procedures that are put into place.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Certainly,
I don't need to minimize the work that your office does, or that we pay for the auditors to do. But, heavens forbid, something ever happened like that in the district, the first place people would be here in the audience asking this board of 9 plus the administration why we didn't look at it. And I'm suggesting that, on occasion, we should probably just take a cautionary look at it to understand how and why things are moving in.
excellent suggestion, and we'll come up with a system that everyone's in agreement to do that. And the finance committee will make some suggestions and share that with the rest of the board.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Gurley. Thank you, Mr. Garcia. Anyone else? So all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Those items are passed. Now we're on to continuing business. Does anyone have continuing business they'd like to speak on? Or new business? Seeing there is none, we will now go to the second public participation portion of the meeting tonight, where anyone can come forward and speak on any issue that they'd like to. You have to state your name, address, and you have a maximum of 3 minutes for your comments.
So I'm Jessica, 631 Main Avenue. And the reason I come to you today is because myself and other parents in the district here, especially at Sherman, are concerned that we no longer have departmentalization for the 5th grade level. And research shows, as you already know, I'm a teacher, I'm an educator for 11 years. Research shows that departmentalization works, especially in mathematics, which we used to do here even in 3rd grade in math. Coming now from being a parent of a middle schooler, I especially know, I see the difference. Some kids will be able to make the adjustment, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult for a lot of students. I know my own daughter, when she gets to that point, it's going to be difficult. We're not preparing the fifth graders for what is to come. I was very happy to see what's going on at the middle school. Now as a parent from there, the students are being challenged. There's so many things for them to do. I absolutely am overjoyed with what's going on over there. However, I don't feel like the fifth graders here are being prepared for that big change. So I would like to know, my question to you is, why don't we departmentalize anymore? And how can we go about making this change going forward? Because so many school districts are doing it, and I think it's strange.
Well, I know that the principals at the PTA meeting earlier in the year, all three elementary principals, gave an explanation and rationale for making this change. I don't know if you were...
I was actually at the first PTA meeting here at Sherman, and I'm the one that asked the question to Mrs. Blum, but her answer really wasn't clear as to, research-wise.
I can certainly give you some rationale. Actually, and I don't know what grade you teach or what have you, the state is asking us to get away from tracking at the elementary level. As you know, teachers at the elementary get generalists. We understand that some of them have strength in an area and in another area, but they're getting away because the new research, and I can certainly meet with you, at a later day and share this with you. New research shows that when students are grouped with different abilities, they do better in whatever subject. And again, research is new, and that's why they're coming out with best practices. The reason for that is that teachers are being trained differently now. Differentiated instruction is a huge, big thing. And also small group learning is another huge, where blended learning or personalized learning has become a huge of what the state is asking us to do more and more. So just like the push-in has become a big, thing around the state, so has the diverse group in the classes, because of personalized learning has come around, and the teachers are being trained on that. Professional development is actually more and more on personalized training. So we wanted to pilot this because, again, based on what the state is asking. As a matter of fact, if you do look around the state, less and less districts are doing this.
I'm not sure you understand really what I mean. You're absolutely right. I understand that research.
Okay.
But what I don't mean necessarily tracking as in homogeneously grouping students. That's not what I'm referring to. You would still you would still differentiate the instruction. However, what I mean is how it used to be here at Sherman was that there would be one teacher for language arts, one teacher for math, and one teacher for science, but not, you differentiate within that group. But that's what I mean. I don't mean homogeneously grouping the students.
I see, okay, so language arts, demand, and so forth.
Right, so we used to do that here. It started in third grade, we did track the students in math, which in math is a little bit different than research, but in general, just departmentalizing, and that's why I say it's going to prepare them for the sixth grade, because once they get to sixth grade, it is completely different.
I get it.
Just changing classes and getting used to having your material, just aside education, aside from their grades and the instruction, what I mean is that just having to organize, it's a life skill. We take it for granted for adults, but students need to learn this life skill of being organized and knowing what to take where.
And that's happening. I just want to let you know that is happening. As you know, we have a brand new math program. It's a very challenging program. I know but it works. It's again, it's research driven. But we can discuss this at length if you like. Give my office a call. I can certainly give you more information on the rationale behind this. Mr. Salvo, our director of curriculum, also can join us, and we can meet with you and discuss it. But like everything else, we wanted to pilot this. Doesn't mean that it's a permanent solution. We will look, as always, at data before we move forward with any type of change. All the factors that come into mind with this is the way that the state is for testing, and I'm sure you know about NJ Smart and so forth. teachers are responsible for their homeroom and the teaching for both language arts and math in their homeroom. So, there are other factors that come into play here, but I certainly want to meet, if you have other questions, I will be more than happy
Yeah, I mean,
to.
I know I'm not the only one. I'm not
No,
one
I
to
know.
really come to board meetings. You all know me, but you don't know me to come here, just because, I'm very busy as well. However, I've spoken to other parents, and they're concerned too. And I see the difference, and I understand there's research, but there's research on the other hand.
There's
too.
always research on two sides,
And
absolutely.
I know the teachers as well, they also feel the same way, they would like to departmentalize. When you are really good at teaching language arts, it's just a completely different feeling. As an educator, I know, I've never departmentalized, I teach third grade, I teach bilingual, I've always taught elementary. However, students need to learn this life skill. It's a big difference, and
But they do, and always regardless of departmentalized or not, transition is going to be difficult from 5 to 6, and then from 8 to 9.
but why did we do it before, and why did we not do it now? I still don't understand your answer, because your answer is really telling me about tracking.
Because,
and asking about
because
tracking.
we want, number one, we want to move on with the time. We understand that teachers at K to 5, they're generalists. They are trained to teach every subject, and I get strengths can be a little bit more, can lean more towards one teacher or another. But again, we piloted this. If you would like to discuss this in length, again, I wouldn't expect.
I would
the
definitely
time.
make an appointment to speak.
Please make an appointment. We'll bring in also a director of curriculum. We can discuss this in length, and we can certainly, come up
I'll
with this.
definitely
Please do
email
that.
your office.
I'm sorry,
I'd like
please
to
do.
suggest maybe bring another pound or two,
Oh,
whatever.
I can,
That's fine.
Okay, please follow up.
I will. Thank you.
That's not my wife.
Can I say something about this real quick? I am a teacher also. I've taught third grade, and now I'm a teacher at the fourth grade in my district, departmentalized. I teach math and science, and another teacher teaches language arts and social studies. So there are pros and cons on both sides, right? Like a lot of the pros are you get them ready for middle school, they get organized to switch classes, go to different teachers. Certain teachers are good at one thing, but another thing, when you departmentalize, it's a lot more workload for the teachers. So for instance, if you're in a homeroom and you have 18 students, now when you departmentalize, you get 36 students. So this is something that we have to look at both sides of the issue. And then when we look at both sides of the issue, hopefully we can come to a consensus that most of us are going to.
I'm not sure I agree with you 100%.
And then
But I'm
there's-
saying more about teachers, I have to teach 5 subjects.
Correct.
And
I have to
then-
make 5 sets of lesson plans. You have to present the same lesson all day long. By the time you get to that 3rd or 4th lesson,
But Ms. Falcon and
That's
Mrs.
one way of
Gill,
looking at it.
yeah, another thing to consider too is the time. Travel time sometimes when you switch from class to class, believe it or not. No, believe it or not, if you add the time, not in a day, in a week, it adds up. If you add the time in a year, I can tell you it's going to be hours of lost instruction for switching, guaranteed. But again, you have your pros and cons, but give us a call, as Mr. Signorella said, if you'd like to bring a couple of parents, we'll be more than happy, to meet with you and discuss it further. Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? Seeing there's one, we'll continue on with public participation. Good evening, Mr. Monty.
Hi, my name is Supervisor McGee. One more comment on the Gifted Talent Program. This is interpreting, I think, was a real jewel in the school district, and Ms. Carvati is also a jewel who's probably going to be retiring soon. I just want to make sure that the board and the district affirms a commitment to gifted talent education. I have 2 children who are beneficiaries of that system, and I really think that the way that Ms. Carvati operated the gifted talent program was wonderful. Going forward, I wouldn't want that program to be focused on acceleration or extra content or make it all STEM-based. I really think it should be focused on developing their skills and overcoming their challenges and maximizing their potential as leaders. So I hope we can continue with our new talented leaders. And one more thing, about 4 weeks ago, I came and talked on behalf of the Arts Committee, and I'm really excited that
Thank you so much. So here's in 150 Bourbon Street. I didn't want to take time before agenda item 18, the memorandum agreement between the Board of Education and the Police Department.
That is required by law, it's an annual agreement. As a matter of fact, this year took longer because they were supposed to have a revised and updated agreement, but the state couldn't put it out in time. So annually, both the police department and the school district have to come up with certain, and actually it's my office if you'd like to see a copy of several emergency drills, emergency procedures.
So it's not like for the crossing guards?
No. It has to do more with emergency procedures
okay.
in the school.
Okay, thank you.
Protocols.
Thank you. The settlement agreement, that will be operable tomorrow, correct?
That's it.
And just as a protocol, Mr. Rita and Ms. Powers gave notice of their absence
Yes.
today. Thank you. And then there was just one other item. Actually, it was regarding, so there have recently been two issues, and we spoke, Ms. Rita, thank you for your response. One was about the shortening of classes for the elementary schools. I'm sorry, not shortening of some classes. And then the other one was regarding the workload for some students in the middle school. Now, are both of these curriculum related? And I'm asking out of ignorance because I see, if the classes are shortened, at some point curriculum has to address that, right? And if there's a workload, is that workload run through the curriculum department?
It depends.
Because I'm just wondering if at some point, perhaps, the curriculum director or the curriculum committee could just give an overview of decisions that are made, because both these decisions were made, and it impacted parents, and they didn't understand it until after the fact. So I was just wondering if at some point that could happen, even a report or something to put out, so people understand that when a curriculum committee decides on a course of action to follow through, that just a brief overview is given, right? So people know it's in store as opposed to, just say hey, as opposed to oh hey, right?
You know what, and Mr. Guerrero, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we can take Kirsten's time, but I think we have a curriculum advisory council that meets during the day. At time, now whether the middle school one, I don't believe, went through the board or anything, or any counselors, right? That just happened.
Right.
But as far as the classrooms here, certainly that would have been discussed at that council advisory or advisory council.
This is like a group of residents and.
No. The curriculum is a group of educators, a staff.
Oh, okay. Right.
At a different grade level.
And does that committees or advisory committee give some kind of heads up or report?
Mr. Seiko as the curriculum chairperson, he would be.
Just at the beginning of the year, right, or during the end of the year, to say, hey, just let everybody know this might be coming. And just one question. I'm apologies, but what is, I'm sorry, what is that? I don't know.
That's when, fourth and fifth grade, I believe we're doing it here for years in other elementary schools, where one teacher teaches language arts and possibly social studies, because it's a humanities classes, and another teacher, let's say there are two teachers in each grade level.
Right.
The other teacher would teach math and science.
Okay.
Those are more intimidating. Not in every class.
Fourth and fifth.
Fourth and fifth possibly. I think fifth grade was the last one that was doing it. The fourth grade's got away from it.
So now, is it just one, is it one teacher that's doing it?
One teacher is teaching over here.
Gotcha. So it went from, I guess, two teachers, for lack of a better word, a specialized field,
those two areas.
focus
So
field, to have one teacher doing all.
Right.
Thank you very much. I just didn't understand.
the students.
Mr. Miller, I'd like to have
Yeah.
these questions to Mrs. Kirsch.
Sure.
There's one sign on the main entrance to the football field which states about the handicap.
Mr. Ruggiero, can you talk into the mic a little? I'm sorry. Thank you.
Mrs. Kirsch, there's only one sign, and that's at the main entrance to the football field. Handicap parking. That's over at the Roosevelt Park side. At the visitor side, they filled in with fine stone, granite.
Correct.
That was exposed. I think that's the harsh the drain. Now it's which stone, that's the drain.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
We need that for drainage. And not sure if you were asking a question, but there are actually a total of 3 signs. One at the main entrance that you mentioned. There's a second one on the Webster Avenue side entrance. And there's a third sign placed immediately adjacent to the visitors' bleachers about handicap seating. So there are actually a total of 3 signs.
So the one.
Okay. But there are 3. If you go back, we can find the other 2, or we'll take pictures from it.
And on the visitor side, there's an additional 1, 2, 3, 4 set of bleachers, which are only 3 rows high.
Correct.
Why?
In anticipation of a very large crowd on Thursday for the 100th anniversary game, all of the other bleachers that are located in our athletic complex around the other baseball, softball fields were moved to the visitor side because we're surely hoping that Roselle brings a very large crowd to the game to support their players, just like we anticipate Roselle Park residents attending Thanksgiving.
I hope the Roselle Park residents come out and support.
Yes.
So hope our
You hope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing there's no one else, we'll close the second public participation portion of the evening tonight. And now I'd like to make a motion to go into closed executive session for matters, for 1, for student matters, 2, for matters of attorney-client privilege, and 3, personnel. Have a motion.
Make a motion.
Mr. Cigarella, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Cassino. All in favor? Aye. We are at closed. We'll probably be closed for approximately 30 minutes. If it's longer than that, we'll come out and let you know. Thank you. Good evening. And for leaving, good evening. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. Do I have a motion to go and open?
I just did.
Second.
Mr. Harms first, second Mr. Cigarella. All in favor? Aye. Thank you for waiting. We were in executive session for approximately an hour and a half. And action was taken. I'm going to read a resolution. We're going to take action right now by this resolution that I'm about to read. Whereas a residency hearing was convened on November 21st, 2017, upon the request of the superintendent with respect to students 2065537600 and student 13486097332 and student 34804676614. And whereas notice of the residency hearing were served upon the students' parents And whereas the students' parents were extended the opportunity to appear at the hearing and to offer evidence and testimony as to the residency of the students. And whereas the board has considered the testimony and evidence offered by the students' parents as well as the superintendent's designees. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the board finds, 1, that students 206553760 and student 134860972 and student 348046761 are not domiciled in the Roselle Park School District for the purpose of being entitled to a free public education in accordance with NJSA 18A:38-1 and the other statutes covering such issues. And number 2, that the parents of students 206553760 and student 134860972 and student 348046761 shall immediately withdraw the students from the district. And 3, that the parents of students 206553760 and student 134860972 and student 348046761 shall immediately reimburse the Roselle Park Board of Education for the tuition for the period of time that the students were determined not to be domiciled in the district. And 4, that the parents of students 206553760 and student 134860972 and student 348046761 be advised that should they appeal the board's decision, they must do so within 21 days of receipt of the board's notice of final ineligibility. And 5, during the appeal, if any, the students shall remain enrolled in the district. However, if the Commissioner of Education determines that students number 206553760 and student 134860972 and student 348046761 are not domiciled in the district, tuition may be assessed for the period of time that the student was determined not to be domiciled in the district as permitted by New Jersey Administrative Code. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution? Motion, Mr. Harms, second?
Second.
Mr. Signorello? Are there any questions or comments? Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Vice President Harms?
Yes.
Mr. Bowman?
Yes.
Mr. Cancino?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton?
Yes.
Ms. Powers? Mr. Sekou?
No.
Mr. Signorello?
Yes.
Mr. Vida? President Miller?
Yes.
Roll call, motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. And now I'd like someone to make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Mr. Signorello, second. Mr. Harms, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned, and we will see you at our next board meeting on Tuesday, December 5th, at the high school auditorium at 7 p.m. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Go Roselle Park on Thanksgiving Day.